My name is Bill Case. I am the interim director of the Black Cultural Center, and I'd like to welcome you to our Spring 2022 Cultural Arts Festival, Music is the Language of Liberation, with our special guest, Clave Caribe. Yeah. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and pull that phone out. You probably already have it out. I'm not going to ask you to turn it off. I'm going to ask you to silence it. Our program, which was up on the screen earlier and is out there, is actually online. So you'll need to scan the QR code to actually see who is in the show. Additionally, outside as you were coming in, on either side of the doors, were our evaluations. I'm going to ask you, please, if you didn't get one, to get one at the end of the show and to spend a couple of seconds in filling that out for us. It's very important in what we do, and this lets us know what you think about it, and it helps us to report out. Additionally, when you are done filling out this evaluation, there's a box that says return your evaluation here. I'm going to ask you just to go ahead and drop it in that box. That's the business side of it. Now, the show side of it. What you're going to experience tonight is the culmination of our semester-long focus on the Afro-Latin connection. We've been talking about it the whole semester. Us, meaning the staff and the students at the BCC, have been reading everything that we can get our hands on about the Puerto Rican history and their culture and their arts. Last month in March, we actually took a group of students and we went to Puerto Rico. We went to Ponce, we went to Luisa, and we went to San Juan. We met with a lot of historians, a lot of artists. We went to a lot of museums. We gathered all of the information that we could get. And tonight, you are going to experience our artistic response. And that's it. So I'm going to get off the stage, and I'm going to ask you to please enjoy music, the language of liberation. Thank you.
Exodusing from these wretched plains. Pour holy palm wine, wash away this wasted shame. Blood is thicker than cotton or sugar cane. I don't think you're ready for the pain. I don't think you're ready for the change. May, you are a field Negro too, son. Lead Candace Owens by the plantation. Foolishness. Thinking the overseer even had the keys to these chains. How could we expect the dungeon keeper to make the rules and play fair this game? Oh, bless your greed for not granting me the little I asked of you. I would have played a fiddle and tap dance for you. I would have settled for some Skittles and a safe path home. Tightened up my belt, lightened up my skin, bitten down my tongue. I begged you for an inch. Let me have some liquor and a flat screen. A minute for my mind, scraps for my sandwich. You had me saying prayers in your language. You made me forget my gods. You had me question my spirits, forsake my prophets, and then you cursed me with Trevor, Philip, Soda, pale face, Jacobin. One knee on my back, one knee on my lungs, telling me to run sprint times in a marathon. Keep calm and carry on. Oh, the audacity, the caucasity of it all. Thank you for refusing me that inch, because now I do not recognize your yardstick. The scales have toppled, the curtains have collapsed, the blonde baboon's ass is bare in the open, and I am a field Negro now. I do not want your equality. It was never yours to give me, and even then it was too minor, too little, too late. Pull the balaclava over my heart and say running. My revolution rides a black horse, and it is stunning. Get me my flowers, shower them petals over my escape routes. Molotov cocktails as my banner, skull and crossbones as my skin tone. Babylon burned out as my jam mate. It's my ringtone. monuments down the street like tobacco. Tossing your effigies into the river. They weren't even war for fire. Let me show you what you taught me about crime. Forget a piece, we want the whole pie, and everything must go sign. We are all filled Negroes now. Just dead to talk, get me my bag. Maybe one day we'll see eye to eye on fancy furniture, but right now though, sorry not sorry. Hashtag burn it all. Just burn it all.
How are you doing now?
I'm fine, just like I was 10 minutes ago.
Just making sure the two of you are all right. You know, we wouldn't have to be going through this if we were living in Louisa.
I know. But are you sure this is the right time? Shouldn't we wait until after the baby is born?
I don't want my baby to be born into this. I want my child to be free.
He's my baby too. And I'm just not ready to make such a journey right now.
When will you be ready then, huh? When she's born, when she's 1, maybe 2? When will you realize this is what's best for us?
You don't understand. How could you ask me to go into that godforsaken jungle with no idea of where I'm going or what to expect when I get there? What happens if I trip and fall or get sick? That would be the end of his life before it even begins.
We shouldn't be fighting now. I didn't mean to shout. This is going to work out for us. You just have to trust me.
How do we know that Louisa is as great as we think it is?
What could be worse than where we're living now, huh? In Louisa, I wouldn't have to work in the fields anymore. I could spend more time with you and a little girl.
I told you, he's a boy. I don't know about this, Marcus. What happens if he decides to come before we even get there?
Having a baby on the trip to freedom is better than having a baby within the confines of discrimination.
Okay, Marcus. I know this is what's best for us and him. I trust you.
Good. Hey, how do you know it's a boy? My mama said it's a girl.
He's in my body, isn't he? Besides, my mama said he's a boy, and my mama knows about babies.
I'm sure she does. So are you ready? We leave in 2 days.
2 days? Ay, Dios. That's so soon. Are you sure we shouldn't wait just a little bit longer? I mean, I don't think we're ready yet.
The longer we wait, the more likely we are to have the baby while we're still trying to make it out.
Make it out? You make it sound like we're in a prison or something.
Look around, Kiara. This place is a prison.
We need to wait. I'm still not sure this should happen just yet.
We don't have the luxury of time, Kiara. If we're going to make it out of here, we have to do it now.
I don't think you could say what comes to mind, because when we were in Puerto Rico, there was people as light as like my light-skinned sister and as dark as my dad. Like,
yeah,
some people looked more Afrocentric, and then some people looked
more Hispanic.
Yeah. But
some people even looked Indian. Honestly, I saw some people who had like very Indian features, like Native American features. I would say. But like before I went to Puerto Rico, I thought everybody there was like, you know, like Afro-Latino people who are like just light-skinned, kind of looking like they're from like Hispanic backgrounds. But I found people who looked dark, like literally my skin tone, even darker and everything like that. And it was just like, okay, so there's a different variety of people who come from Puerto Rico. And it's not just like one specific shade or just one region of the world.
Taking it all for us. of Puerto Rican identity. The sounds, the music, all have a correlation of indigenous upbringing. Ponce, a land filled with impactful murals and a graceful museum to showcase Puerto Rico's history and culture and wonder. Ponce has definitely gave me the chance to find my true self. Strolling through the streets of Ponce, just impactful murals just everywhere. As a promoter of peace, Ponce truly shows that in that regard. So this is why I can gladly say Ponce is my new home.
Break. With each destruction, new growth comes. Disaster breeds a chance to rebuild. Ships lined with malice and greed, boxes laced with disease, men disfigured with glutton. Pigs feel entitled to your body, to your land, to your thoughts. The violence of colonization is of the mind, body, and soul. Mind yourself. Pigs feel entitled to your thoughts. You are a laborer and nothing more. This land is my land. This land is your land. The pig spits. The blood of your people bleeds into the earth. You want them to stop, but they bring different weapons, new diseases. Your sister is ill. You want to save her. You desperately want to save her. So what else to do but to cooperate? You teach your children how to survive. That is to say, you keep a part of your culture to yourself. Haunted by the ghost of rape that peers through your children's pale skin, the stench of disease, the presence of the pigs. Centuries later, their legacy still lingers and you're still fighting to figure out your history. Centuries later, Puerto Rico still has foreign powers imbued on the island, and you're still fighting to remember the part of yourself you hid to stay alive. Mind, body, embody what they say. The pigs feel entitled to your body, so they take it. Between 1930 and 70, 30% of the island's women were sterilized. Black Boricuans unable to have children. The implications of United States policy, forced sterilization, married societal pressures, para mejorar la raza, in order to improve the race, peeling back the black layer by layer until others are no longer able to see the violence done onto your body. And you're still fighting to remember the pieces of yourself they took. Mind, body, sold. The pigs feel entitled to your soul, so they buy it for pennies. Tie it to hell with barbed wire. Alter your gods. Paint Orisha white. Forget the name. Forget the prayer. Forget who you are. They called up Catholicism to purify your blood. Wrap your veins in the knives of whiteness. Baptize your heart in bleach. And centuries later, more than half of the island is Catholic. And you're still fighting to remember remnants of African and Taino spiritualities. And you're still fighting, and you're still fighting, and you're still fighting them goddamn pigs draped in red, white, and blood now, fighting for your body, for your land, for your thoughts, fighting for liberation for us all. Mind, body, soul. Soul. You create community. You find others to bind your soul with. Your ancestors escaped to the mountains, hid in caves, and created separate communities, maroons. You find solace in community. You hide in plain sight and find freedom and safety in each other. Body. Your ancestors created bamba, a music and dance style of liberation and resistance. They moved their bodies to communicate revolts and to express themselves in ways that were forbidden. Bambula, a practice of remembrance. And so consciously or subconsciously, you remember pieces, from Bamba y Plena So dancehall and reggaeton, the very sounds you gravitate to are evidence of who you were and who you are. And you find freedom in the movement of your own body and that of your ancestors. Mine, you dig and take up space. After the Spanish-American War, the records were taken. United States took a third, Spain took another, and Puerto Rico was left with a sliver of its own history. And now you scour to put it all together piece by piece, to understand a culture spawned from a history you're still figuring out. In the International Decade for People of African Descent, they make children's books with Black characters, with queer characters, screaming, "We are here to teach children who they are, who you are, who we are," and we find freedom in our own knowledge, and we will find freedom in our connection. Our liberation is bound. The same hand strangling Puerto Rico is the same one that has fabricated and destroyed governments from Hawaii to Ghana, from Brazil to Congo, from Dominican Republic to Angola, is the same one that has fabricated the impoverishment and murder of Black people here in the States. We will find freedom together. We will have liberation. And when we heal 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. So, when the imperial core finally burns, our ancestors will know peace. And centuries after, will be birthed anew in the ashes of a blessed fire.
Las caras lindas de mi gente negra son un desfile de melas en flor, que cuando pasan frente a mí se alegra de su negrura todo el corazón. Las caras lindas de mi raza prieta vienen de llanto, de pena y dolor. Son las verdades que la vida reta, pero que llevan dentro mucho amor. Somos la melaza que ríe, somos la melaza que llora, somos la melaza que ama, y en cada beso es conmovedora. Somos la melaza que ríe, somos la melaza que llora, somos la melaza que ama, y en cada beso es conmovedora. Por eso vivo orgullosa de su colorido. Somos betún amable de clara poesía. Tienen su ritmo, tienen melodía. Las caras lindas de mi gente negra tienen su ritmo, tienen melodía. Las caras lindas de mi gente negra, las caras lindas de mi gente negra, las caras lindas de mi gente negra. De mi gente
Mamá la negrita, se le salen los pies de la cunita y la negra Merced ya no sabe qué hacer.
My mother wasn't sterilized. I almost wish she was.
They keep throwing around this word, sterilization, like some sort of confirmation to this operation. As if there's a correlation between cooperation and population and this implementation of sterilization. My mother could bear no more, and I could barely bear the fact that my baby sister might not have been here. She's only 5, yet there's barely any of them alive. Hey, Jane, come on, let's go play sterilize. My mother awakens from her nightmares and cries. As she begs me to survive, she cries and she grieves, unknowingly giving away her right to conceive. That's why my father left us.
Don't mistake my questioning the treatment. Don't mistake my questioning my siblings' lives.
Promise me that this pain will subside. They come here often like thieves, mistaking my brain for naive, looking at me as though I am diseased after I ask them to leave. Forgetting my identity as I lay face up, rolling down the hole. White masked faces staring down at me. I reach out for my identity.
My skin is eliminated? My skin is eliminated.
Eliminate me! I feel sedated, awakened only by the mistaken call of my name. I feel caged as the white folks sit and stare, brainstorming about how to take care of this problem. I feel enraged. My heart beats faster and faster with confusion. What just happened? I feel empty. And my soul cries for the soulless, lifeless bodies that will never be. They emptied.
Me! I just lay there with questions flowing
unknowingly down my legs and tears flowing down my eyes as I close them. I wake up enraged, angry and hurt. It was just a dream. Enraged as I stare into the mirror and realize that I am of childbearing age. My mother was sterilized.
I wish.
She wasn't.
Brume negrita, que te voy a comprar una cunita que va a tener capité y va a tener cacabé.
Oh. Maybe you were right. Perhaps we should turn back. I can't imagine the thought of having to lose you or our baby.
No, like you said, we must give our child a better life, and that starts with us.
I needed that. We will make it to Luisa. I know we will.
We should pray.
That is always mi amor.
En
En el nombre del Padre y del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Dios mío, protect me, familia. I know you will guide us.
Sí, Dios mío, please give us the strength to make it through whatever obstacles may lie in our path. Amen. Vámonos, vámonos.
Now that people whisper about my loudness and my hair,
Now that people whisper that I'm your foe because they say I have to give the world yourself.
People already whisper that I am your enemy because they say you are powerless and I will only drain you.
they treat me like an outsider when their ancestors are the reason I'm here. They lie, Faith, they lie.
Mienten.
They is a lie, a goddamn lie. These verses are my creative output, my joyous pleasure. They are what define my real outer being. You create music yourself? I create music based on the feel of my surroundings, the everlasting changing events that happen in my surroundings. This gives me a chance to create a piece of art to display in which a receptive resonation will come upon myself.
You should be reserved and only speak when spoken to.
You are not powerless because you have me. We are the same, but I feel miles away. You hide and avoid simple experiences. I dance unconcerned, twerking in the ocean and dancing bomba with the troubadour. You are embarrassed, unsure, hesitant, terrified of the poignant stares of judgment. I swallow insecurity and projection, unafraid, and let it disintegrate in the acid of my stomach.
You are the henchman of sorrow and despair, but afraid of uncertain complications, while I am the exuberant perspective of sincere naturality. People will see me as my true self.
But when I am home, I can be myself. I can express myself through my voice and the way that I wear my hair.
You respect authority. Let them carve out your tongue as a souvenir for whoever has such and such position. I know who I am, and I will not mince my words in the presence of anyone.
But you must be ready for the corporate world. You will do your best and nothing more. You will wear your hair in a way that is not distracting, and you will not care if it isn't fair. While I want to stand up for myself, but you sit back in the corner without a care.
You are paralyzed with despair. I find what I can control and let go of the rest.
Because of your short stature, you are irrelevant, fun-sized, the tiny epitome to a non-existent future. I am a bright-minded soul with a large-sized heart.
You learn their language while all I want to know is my own. You adapt to society's norms while all I want to know is my culture's own. I travel the world to see bits and pieces of my history while all you do is wipe it all away.
You need to keep your expressions and emotions and desires secret. I need to express myself out to the world, not hold everything in. Let my voice resonate with those of my surroundings.
You are terrified of even trying, scared of messing up. I try, I mess up, I scrap the inedible, and I try again and again until I connect.
I am the music that holds liberation, soul, and vibrations. The collection of black liberation is key to whenever Afro music fills the air with its gracious tone. Its variety of melodies, its unique sound, something you can't seem to present out from yourself, something you seem to keep in from the universe.
I travel back to your world and wonder
Why?
Why I didn't stay in the world that they say I can call my own. You are the reason I hear these whispers. And then you ask me to stay. I say, sure, I'll stay. But no change is coming your way.
Let it be known to all
that I give out a solid vibration, a solid inspiration, a solid resonance that you can no longer keep from myself.
So we had the music, we had the dance, but we also had the moments that were workshops so that we could learn about the history as well. And so we learned about Arturo Alfonso Schomburg, and that even though he was not necessarily born in Puerto Rico, we believe that he was born perhaps in St. Thomas, and his mom brought him to Puerto Rico. The impact that he made on Puerto Rican history was just significant. So can you talk about what you learned from that workshop?
I don't remember what they called him. Was it the father of
Black history and Caribbean history?
Yeah, so like hearing about his impact and everything that he did, it was kind of like eye-opening, because in America, like our history, what we're taught is like, you know, slavery, then we're here for some years, Civil War, Martin Luther King. That's Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? These are the people who made history. But then we learned about Schomburg, and that was very eye-opening to see his impact, not only in Puerto Rico, but like how that led to here, like the U.S., like his impact, how it affects the whole country as a whole. It was very eye-opening, very interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they don't associate Black culture with Puerto Rican culture, but Puerto Rican people are Black, so
yeah,
it should be taught everywhere, if that makes sense.
No, I thought it was very interesting because I remember we were in that workshop and like we were just finding out a lot about what he went through and like how much he did for America. But like the fact that we have never heard of this name, and the fact that the woman was not just now, but she was trying to push his impact to be taught in schools. I was like, why isn't he already being talked about? Like, why isn't he being talked about in America? And it was just very eye-opening. It was very like, it was kind of crazy to me that like what we as Black people experience here in America, people were experiencing like Puerto Rico, and they were fighting for the exact same rights we were fighting for. And the fact that like instead of like our history being united in one, I feel like that could have made a bigger impact. But because it was so divided and like segregated between the two nations or regions, that's what allowed us to be kind of held back. But it was very interesting, like learning about it.
And it's crazy that we're not taught Schomburg, but we have the Schomburg Center for Black Research in New York City, in Harlem.
Right.
And it was because of Schomburg that we have the collection of Afro-Puerto Rican, of Puerto Rican and Caribbean history, because he looked around and was like, ain't nobody collecting this. Let me start documenting this work. And now we have this renowned center, this renowned library that researchers, if you really want to study Black history and culture, you go to the Schomburg, and yet we're not taught.
Right, and it's like, it's so crazy because everybody thinks like slavery is just tied to the U.S. and like the impact of slavery would just end here. But slavery was bringing Africans to the U.S. and the Caribbeans. So like the impact is just as great, even though the areas like the actual space might be a lot smaller. I think the impact is all the way through. Like, it's very consistent. So I think we should learn history. Like if we're gonna learn about slavery, it shouldn't just be like U.S. Black history. It should be all U.S. slavery history.
Yeah. And also the fact that he's not being taught in schools is what crazy to me, because I was just thinking like that could be their Malcolm X, or that could be their Martin Luther King, but like they're not being taught. And so for her to try and get that to be passed into elementary schools and that be even a fight, like the fact that's even a struggle to me is just crazy.
Va subiendo la corriente con chinchorro y atorraya, la canoa de pareque para llegar a la playa. Va subiendo la corriente con chinchorro y atorraya, la canoa de pareque para llegar a la playa. Habla con la luna, habla con la playa, no tiene fortuna, solo su atarraya. Habla con la luna, habla con la playa, no tiene fortuna, solo su atarraya. a Puerto de sus amores, donde tienen su querer. Regresan los pescadores con su carga para vender. A Puerto de sus amores, donde tienen su querer. Habla con la luna, habla con la playa. No tiene fortuna, solo su ataraya. Habla con la luna, habla con la playa. No tiene fortuna, solo su ataraya. Habla con la luna, habla con la playa. No tiene fortuna, solo su ataraya. Habla con la luna, habla con la playa. No tiene fortuna, solo su ataraya.
I think in Puerto Rico we really got to see the African culture within that island. Because I feel like a lot of times, like you just said, like when you think of Puerto Rican people, you think of like Despacito, like Hispanic type of music.
Yeah,
but you don't- but you don't really think of like the African culture within that region, and so it was just kind of very interesting to see that, like being exposed to that.
And I feel like in a lot of cultures, they try to like ignore the darker shades, and not ignore, but like belittle. And I feel like that's very prominent in like Caribbean culture. So like, it's not something that I didn't know prior to coming to Puerto Rico, but I didn't expect to like see it firsthand. Like where we went, obviously embraced the culture, but everybody there were always talking about like, this is it's only this diverse here because this is the most diverse place in the
Loaiza,
the area that we're in.
Loaiza, we were.
So
Is it Loaiza? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but like I remember that place. We were saying, I was like, me and her would just look at each other like, oh, not us seeing so many Black people here. But then we were talking to one of the instructors there, and they were telling us that this is the most like diverse place you'll see, and this is the place that like
accepts it and embraces it.
Embraces that culture. But then whereas when we go out to like different places around San Juan, it's like it's not being as celebrated as it was in those little small places. So
there'll be some Puerto Ricans who will say like, I'm not Black, or I'm not of African descent, because they don't want to accept that.
They don't want to accept that. And I remember one of the women who was working with us in one of the bomba shops was telling us that she married a Black man, and her family was not accepting of that because they wanted her to marry like a Hispanic man.
Because it's about like class.
Because class, like the social class, like is also based off like race and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So the darker you are, the lower class you are, and the lighter you are, and that's all. Obviously, that all came from when the colonizers like divided them up.
Yeah.
Like that.
Wouldn't say I'm a lie, but I'm not always honest. I ain't come through, but that's why I ain't promised. You got a face that I could lie to, like blue lights sing white room, and you're fine too. Ooh, oh yeah, I want you to do it again. I want you to pick up the pen and write me into your story. You know I love a story, only when you're the author. Trying to meet you at the altar, working on being softer. Ooh, 'cause you are a dream to me. Seen the way you see through me. Still mad I hit the dash on you after wearing it down right to the last of you. I was moving just maybe a little fast for you. Just tell me it belongs in the past, 'cause you got a face that I couldn't run from. Heartbreak targets in my shotgun, but you're not one. Ooh, oh yeah, I want you to do it again. I want you to love me again and complete our little story. We got one hell of a story, you're a hell of an author. You swear I'll leave you at the altar, working on being softer. Ooh, you always been a dream to me. Listen to way you see through me.
Song comes on, whether you hear it on the radio, listen to it on your phone, YouTube Music, SoundCloud, Spotify. That's still an ass beat that just makes you want to move your feet, move your fists, bass, arms, everything just moving to the beat of the rhythm. The bomba is a Puerto Rican music style. It brings forth a discrete rhythm, a rhythm that transpires a beat, and then it inspires into a dance. The dancer and the drummer need to have a relationship, an agreement. And with that will come a sentimental feeling. I especially found that feeling when I was first introduced to it. And trust me, you won't get it anywhere else. Bomba has four rhythms that are just bangers. Like, they go hard, like Will Smith smacking Chris Rock in the face hard. But in all seriousness, no, the bomba rhythms each give up a better feeling, unique to each one of its own. Bedel de Bomba, a drum man of goat hide, is the powerhouse, the background, the guide for the bomba dance. El Bulador gives a unique beat with a rhythm of harmony and harmonics. El Subidor, the drum that backs up the dancer, is the dancer's rhythm and style that drive the bomba player to create a rhythm. Now, isn't that cool? The drummer backing up a dancer, just like a preacher being backed up by an organ player. Four rhythms. Bombasica, a rhythm of groove and simplicity. When I think of this rhythm, it gives me the mind of ease and resistance, with tuneful melodies and memories that shape my persona. The good, the bad, the ugly. Just memories that help me resonate the day's stress of life. Just imagine going to a grocery store. You already know what you want, so you can just move throughout the aisle, just grab what you want. Hopefully the line is not too long. That's just it. A simple metaphor for just living life in your own fashion. A simple and groovy beat. Now, remember that time you had to fight Blink? For saying something about Blink because what a Blink said? Just imagine the groove to going up to Blink to fight him. Hollande gives me that feeling. Resistance, fighting the temptation, not letting others lure me into a disarray of this unorganized and this balanced coordination. Coordination of myself, that is. Whether it be fighting over TV on Black Friday or just fighting Blank. Overall form of resistance. Now, Quembe, another simple groove. This rhythm just makes you want to vibe at a party in your own fashion, that is. But what this rhythm has taught me is control. I control this night, this sensation, nobody else. So overall, a form of control. Now, Yuba, although it sounds simple, this is where all the action happens. This is when you're actually going up to fight Blank. His face in your face, Blank's face in your face, just the crowd screaming, kick their ass, kick their ass. But in all, Yuba has taught me about the rhythm of music and movement. I can move at everybody, at anybody that I want to. I'm controlling this. Now me, dance, please, but UI has taught me that movement in itself is a form that anybody can relate to in dancing. So overall form of movement. So overall, music of Puerto Rico has taught me the values of music and inspiration and spirit, with feelings of soul, liberation, movement, and resistance.
¿Qué pasa? Bueno, muchachos, ¿están listos? Vamos a ver, con sabor a pueblo. ¡Bomba y plena!
traveling for weeks, and the baby could come any day now.
No sé, mi amor. Wait, what is that that I hear? Is that, it's, music? Is it? Oh, is it, tambores, maracas?
I hear it too. I think we're almost there. There's a warmth to this place.
Oh, I see someone approaching. Maybe we should hide.
There's no need to fear. You're home.
What is this place?
What is this place? Luisa, your home. Where no one fears the sea, where mi negro, blanco, moreno, y todos otros colores familias can be. Live in content and prosperity.
Luisa?
We made it!
Yes, and just in time for El Festival de Santiago Apostol.
And we are home.
Lo diseño en acción, deja huellas de tuyo en tu tradición. Tu bandera hace honrar tus raíces y tu himno exaltar. Lo diseño has de marcar en el tiempo el orgullo de tu honor. Tu vehemencia has de encontrar luz divina en horizonte de alta mar. Unidos vamos adelante, unidos en amor y paz. Nuestra historia es la esperanza que a nuestra patria hará triunfar. Cultiva tu tierra es tesoro, estudia y lucha sin cesar. Que lo hices hija digna de Borinquen, pueblo de amor y paz.
Come, help them, help them.
Dear Jorge or Yolanda. Now the first question you might be asking is, ¿Quién es Jorge or quién es Yolanda? Your mother and I have been debating about whether or not you be a boy or a girl for what seems like forever. You picked the name Jorge if you're a boy, and I picked the name Yolanda if you're a girl. I have the expectation now you'll open this up on your 16th birthday. If that's the case, feliz cumpleaños, mi amor. If not, do not read any further. When your mother told me she was pregnant, it was the single greatest moment of my life. I remember the day as if it was yesterday. Oh, I was working in the fields as always when all of a sudden your mother just wraps her arms around me and squeezes me so tight. And then she whispers in my ear, "How does it feel to be a father?" What do you mean by that? Then she said it again. She's like, "How does it feel to be a father?" You're serious. This is happening. This is not a joke. You're serious. En serio, en serio. Oh, yes! Oh, yes! Yes! Oh, yes! Dios mío, you are the one. You are the truth. Oh. No. Everybody needs to hear this. My name is Marcus, and today I became a dad. Whew. To be honest, it's kind of crazy. After I screamed, I received 5 lashes. But to be honest, I could not feel them. There was nothing that could shift my mind from you. That night, your mother and I danced whenever we were out of sight. We talked about you until sunrise. We're thinking about what you'd be like what you look like, would you have her smile or my eyes. You would not believe how happy we were. It was like we were levitating, tears of joy streaming down our faces. But then, dread. What brought about this, you may ask? 16 years is nothing in a world that sells and kills people like the animals. We knew we could not let you live this life. Yes, we have found freedom in Luisa, but for how long? How long will I have to worry that I have to say goodbye to you before I ever say hello? How long will I have to worry that this day will be our last? What if they find us? And if they do, what will they do to us? What will they do to you? Oh. Before your mother and I left, we made a vow that if only one of us is to make it to Luisa, let it be our baby. And let them know what we did for them to get them there, so that they will do for their kin as we have done for ours. I'm not saying this to scare you. A lot of this you probably already know. I'm just saying this because despite however this world looks at you, we will be there for you. If they treat you like you're half a person, we'll give you the love and care of two people. We will love and protect you as much as we can for as long as we can. Yes, at times we will be afraid, but that will never come close to the love and joy we have for being your parents. Every morning, I'll greet you with a smile. It's like not just the love I have for you, but the excitement I have to see you grow up. To see you take your first steps. To see you go and make friends. To see you fall in love with whoever makes you happy. Just like me and your mom did. I'm excited that soon you'll be in our lives. I'm excited because I know I love whoever you'll become. I'm excited to meet them. There'll be times in your life where maybe you're unsure of yourself. There'll be times in your life where maybe you're mad at me or I'm mad at you. It won't matter. To be honest, I'm not sure you'll ever see this letter, but I just want you to know that I will always love being your father. I don't love being a father. I love being your father. Whether it is in this world or the next, we will always have a bond much stronger than chains. Not just with love, but with joy. Tu Papa, Marcus.
Savory dish with plantains at its center and a tomato-based sauce. My instinct says fufu, swimming in a tomato and onion-based pepper soup with chunks of goat meat. Take a flight and it's mofongo, a green plantain mash served with your choice of delectable meats or sauteed vegetables. Enter your choice of porridge. Porridge being a liquidish breakfast. It'll tell me where you're from. Grits, aclui, crema de maize. What you got? Cream of wheat, zabone, breakfast custard? Oh, my mouth is watering with excitement and familiarity for somewhere new. The taste of a diaspora, a globe of flavors united in a dish. A taste of home in a meal abroad.
Who am I? I'm not sure, but I can tell you what I'm not, an artist. You know, someone that loves to sketch and paint. Thoughts of having any of those skills make me want to faint. Who cares about primary, secondary colors anyway? I sit back and watch people toss colors and lines on those big white things that are blank. It's been years, and every time someone asks me about art, I don't care. Someone asked me to attend an art gallery, and I'll say no. But when in Puerto Rico, I saw artwork better than Van Gogh. It wasn't just blended colors of the night sky, or a series of paintings on a plant cultivated in the Americas. What I saw was more than that. It was better than nature on the page. The works that I saw were deeper than that. It was of the artists that paved the way for me to see the history of what it really means to be me. As I sit back I think to the sun breathing down on me. A gentle breeze goes by as Raru Aea is swinging a machete deeper and deeper into a coconut. He uses his special tools to carve out the sweet yet bitter and milky fruit. He then shapes and sands the shell. Eventually, a mask will be revealed as a work of art for the festivals of Louisa. Behigante is what they're called. They're used as part of a costume and are now assembled to represent cultural identity, resilience, and resistance. I didn't think about Lynn's passion for bomba. I see silkscreen paintings in my head. The drummers and the dancers are decorated in such vibrant colors that scream the joys of a lively community. I didn't think about when I was in his workshop, which was also his home, and thought to myself how grateful I was to be in the place of an artist where their art can be expressed. From silkscreen paintings to clay sculptures to copper finishes, Lynn's pieces show Louisa's Afro-Caribbean tradition. As I reflect on the historian that we learned about, Arturo Alphonse Schomburg, he searched the world to collect materials on the Black experience. To collect art on the Black experience, to prove to his teacher that there were pieces of art that people of the African descent found. Today, after all of his work, we can see over 10 millions of documents on artwork, books, and art pieces. When I think of people like Raul, Samuel, and Arturo, I think about the art that they have shown me. So when I think, yeah, I'm not an artist. However, I will always choose to look at the art that represents my history.
Ha llegado el Dumba, ha llegado el Dumba, ha llegado el Dumba, dominando todas las fieras. Ha llegado el Dumba, ha llegado el Dumba, ha llegado el Dumba, dominando todas las fieras. Ha llegado el Dumba, ha llegado el Dumba, ha llegado el Dumba, dominando todas las fieras. Se paseaba por la barriada cantera, ha llegado el Dumba dominando todas las fiestas. Ha llegado el Dumba, ha llegado el Dumba, ha llegado el Dumba con chuleta y ya.
Coco negro que se trepa en la palma. Coco sabroso. Coco es mi rico. Coco Puerto Rico. Coco pa Colombia. Coco pa todo el mundo. Coco coco coco. Coco coco bueno. Coco coco rico. Coco es sabroso. Coco coco. Coco rico, coco bueno, coco rico, dame coco, que te pido, cocotero, coco bueno, pa' Loíza, pa' todo el mundo, coco negro, coco blanco, amarillo, coco bueno. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you our MC for tonight, Mr. Kahari.
Make some noise! Yo! Hey, hey, hey! This has been Music is the Language of Liberation by the Black Cultural Centers performing arts ensembles. Give them a hand! Yeah! First and foremost, put the drama all in the action here. Give it up for those new directional players. Your wordsmiths for the evening has been none other than Haraka Writers Ensemble. Getting it on the good foot. You better love it and shake it and scream it like you know. Give it up for Jahari Dance True. The Inspire and Inspiration. These are the Black Voices of Inspiration. Inspiration. And making this music move like you ain't seen it so long. Live music is back, y'all. Clave Caribe. And possibly, sadly but very joyously, this may be the last time you see them on this stage. Give it up for your graduating seniors! It took a lot of people to get this production together. We are so happy you are here to witness it today. Let me introduce you to the artists and residents of the Black Cultural Center. Come on down, Miss Ariel Smith. Mr. Joshua L. Ishman. Sir James Digo. And back in 1,000 for us this evening, doing all the hard work, this is Sunita Saran. I am Disco Poet Kahari B, and we be real happy to have
you are here with us. And one more thing, coming down right now, the man who helped us put it all together is not here. So please give it up just in case somebody is recording this for Mr. Bill Case, director of the Black Cultural Center.
He left me a message to give you guys, though. Thank you for coming out tonight. We're hoping that you come back to join us for all our future programming. Please take a second before you leave and fill out those evaluations. They're very important. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming out tonight. Let's give them another round of applause.